Welcome in, everyone, to the only podcast dedicated to all things hockey in the Gulf South, including professional, amateur, and all things in between. This is your home for team coverage of the Biloxi Breakers, Baton Rouge Zydeco, and the Monroe Moccasins of the Federal Prospects Hockey League. In this show, we're going to have thoughts, facts, and opinions on all things happening in the FPHL South. Here, we're also going to talk about our favorite NHL teams, personal stories, may even have some surprises along the way. Right or wrong, we're going to give our listeners honest answers about things FPHL South and hockey in general. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Hockey Time Down South. Gentlemen, how are we this evening?
Good.
What's going on, guys? Happy to be back.
Let's see, we're energetic.
You know, I was doing a lot better until Brian showed up. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, you just zapped the energy right out of me, Joe. I just come in here and I hear your voice and my enthusiasm goes from a 10 to a 0.
Well, that being said, let's do a recap for everybody who's tuning in for the first time. And this is our first live one, so this might be really interesting, to say the least. You know, we like to fly by the seat of our pants sometimes. But first on our panel, these are our regular panel members. We have the voice and the director of broadcasting for the Baton Rouge Zydeco, an avid Los Angeles Kings fan, the California Kid, Brian Flores. What's up, buddy?
What's up? I'm glad I took that title from Joe.
Yeah, I had to give it to you.
California Kid, by the way.
California Kid. Wait till I get to him next.
Do you hear me clapping for you, Brian? Because I am.
Yeah, Northern California doesn't count, bud.
So you want the
There we go. There's a sound effect.
All right, next we got a broadcaster, the broadcaster, director of media for the Biloxi Breakers, the pride of the University of Massachusetts Amherst, Boston Bruin fanatic, Devin Dobek.
Drum roll, please.
What's going on? Happy to be back. Happy to come off a weekend sweep of the Zydeco. Happy to be in the middle of the standings, and happy to be here.
Yeah, that's good stuff for you guys. You guys had a pretty good weekend there.
We needed it. We've had too much of a dose of Monroe early on here.
Yeah. Sorry about that. You'll be seeing us more this Friday. Anyway, we got also, as always, from the Monroe Moccasins, we have the former Arizona Sun Devil, the favorite brother of Justin, director of broadcasting and the voice of the Bayou State Rougarou of the NA3HL, and Monroe Moccasins, my broadcast partner, Joseph Furtado.
What's going on? I'm just here so I don't get fined by Pete, because he will fine me for being here. If I'm not here, I should say.
Oh, man, yeah. You'll never know what you have to do. You might have to wear a funny hat at the bar or something.
Or a funny jersey.
Funny jerseys? Oh, or you have a funny walk or eat lasagna. Lastly, myself, the ringmaster, from the city by the lake, Chicago, Illinois, now living in New Orleans. I am a former goaltender, the firstborn of Robert and Pamela. I also host Inside the Blue Paint podcast, but most affectionately, I'm the color analyst for the Bayou State Rougarou of the NA3HL and the Monroe Moccasins. I am the other voice, if you will, Pete Furcano.
I got one comment, Pete. Why is it the city by the lake? Isn't it the Windy City?
No, it's several things, but we like the city by the lake. You know, I would have claimed the second city saint, but unfortunately, CM Punk already has that title, so.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we got a lot of it. We can even tell you why it's called the Windy City, and it's not because it's windy. I'll tell you that.
No, it is. I was when I was in Danville, we went up to a Bruins Blackhawks game. I love my Bruins. In Chicago, and I had a couple of the players with me, and we had this Russian guy, Nick Salov. He steps out of the car, door almost blows back in his face, and he goes, "Whoa, it's windy." And I just turned to the other guys, and I was like, he's starting to get it. Windy City, man. The Windy City.
It is. Well, it's so in the 1920s, it was dubbed the Windy City after the politicians' big windbags. So that's where that came from. But also, real quick, I know it's a day after, but happy Veterans Day, belated Veterans Day to all who have served and currently served. Thank you for your service. And with that being said, boys, a lot has happened since our first podcast.
That's no lie. It's been a minute, actually, since we've even done that first podcast.
Yeah, was that August?
It was somewhere around there. It's been quite a while.
September.
It feels like it's been longer than September.
Yeah, there's been moments. Well, we already talked how fast the hockey season's going to blow by anyway. It's week 1, then it's December, then it's March, and then the season's over. So it's like, uh-oh.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's getting quick. I mean, we're almost 10 games in, and next thing you know, you're going to be staring at game 50 or 56, and then playoffs. It goes by so fast.
Yeah, it is. And as we look at the, I want to look at the standings real quick in the Continental, because that's what our main focus throughout the season is, really the Continental. And we had a tough series this weekend with Athens, and they're leading the conference here to division, whatever you want to call it, 23 points. And then the Moccasins and Ice Cats are tied at 16, followed by Columbus. Biloxi's got 8 due to the sweep this weekend of the Zydeco. The Twin City Thunderbirds are 6, and Baton Rouge is sitting down there at 4. But yeah, so and this weekend, last weekend was busy, and this weekend's not really so much. But that being said, Brian, you can lead it off, man. State of the Zydeco, 1-5-1. What's going on over there, buddy?
So the thing with the Zydeco, and again, I mentioned it on broadcast to kick off the weekend. It was our military night. Our season is a microcosm of that game, where if you had not watched the Zydeco, kept up with them every game, or like seen one of their games, it would look like they're dead in the water. 1-5-1's not an ideal record, obviously, but if you actually watched, the games, there are 2 games that I feel like the Zydeco just lost. The other games, it was just, they had control of it. They either thundered back or they just let the lead slip by. It wasn't that, they were beat thoroughly. And that's for me still a positive, frustrating, but a positive nonetheless. I'll give you an example. This weekend, we got swept, as you mentioned, but on Friday, Zydeco, I feel like, controlled the game from beginning to end. It was just a few turnovers, few bounces that went the opposite way. And Saturday was almost a flip of the script, where Biloxi was just all over them. They were buzzing, and they battled back. They forced overtime in a game that I really don't think should have went to overtime. And of course, they ended up dropping that one. But, even flashing back to the second weekend against Monroe. First game, yeah, the Moccasins had their number. But in that second game, I'd argue that the Zydeco really could have come up with a win. It was 2 straight goals from the Mocs that ended up lifting them to, I believe it was a 4-3 win. And against Columbus during the home opening weekend, again, it was a similar story. First game, it's like, yeah, the Columbus River Dragons had their number. In the second game, again, the Zydeco, they held their own all the way until the very end, when Columbus came back and won that game. So give a couple of bounces the other way, or given just different circumstances, I feel like you wouldn't be looking at a 1-5-1 record. Perhaps you'd be looking at more of a I would say maybe even a 4-2 record. Just you'd be looking at a completely different season. So right now it's not hopeless. It's not they're just done right off the gate, because it's still a long season. But this team is a lot more, and this is where I get into like a hot take. But I feel like this team is a lot more fundamentally and technically sound on the ice than last season. If you look at the way that the Zydeco carry themselves in the offensive zone, the shot volume that they're throwing on net, And you just look at their transition game. It's a lot more sound and it's a lot more formulaic than last season. Where last season you had dogs like Gary Lindbergh, you had Elijah Wilson, who knew how to put pucks into the back of the net. This season, you have guys that set up, you have guys that drive the net. They really drive. They have a lot of grit, but you just don't have that ace in the hole. You don't have that finisher. So I feel like if the Zydeco can find their guy, they can find their footing, then this season is going to turn around in a heartbeat. And that's just, again, the beauty of hockey. You have many teams in the past who started off really slow, but ended up winning championships. Look at the 2012 Kings or the 2019 Blues. It's a sport of momentum. It's a game of change. So I feel like it's just not beating yourself over a slow start, because again, 1-5 doesn't sound like the best record, but again, you get on a 7-game burner, then that 1-5 turns into an 8-5, and that's more of an appealing record. So it's just the start of the season. It's a team that's still trying to get used to each other, and getting used to a new system that, I've seen the playbook from head coach Chad Bailey. He knows what he's doing, and I've heard it from the locker room. I've heard it from a lot of players that they're completely admired by him, that they want to get behind him. And this is the first time since, I would say, moving away from the null, that I've heard a lot of camaraderie about a head coach, about these guys really wanting to buy into his system. It's just, again, it's those bounces, it's those circumstances, and once they get used to the play style, once they get used to the systems, I feel like this team is still going to be a team to look at towards the end of the season. Just right now, not a lot right going for them, and they're just going to have to figure that out. And I feel like with the skill level that they have and behind the bench and the amount of guys willing to buy into the system, I feel like they will figure it out.
Like you said about camaraderie, especially with the coaching, once you buy into a coach's system, all hands are on deck at that point. So yeah, you guys are starting off a little slow, but you're not out by any standard. We're scratching the surface on the season. So it's every team I think in this division is dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, from top to bottom, I was even looking because I was updating my boards, because we thankfully have a week off and I can catch a little bit of rest because I'm getting over a cold myself. You look at the Continental as opposed to like a team in the Empire. The Zydeco, the next opponent they're going to be playing, is one of the top 3 teams in the Empire in Topeka. And I want to get into that just a little bit. And maybe it's the NBA talking, because I'm taking that as well as broadcasting. But a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's interesting that the Zydeco are playing majority Biloxi and Topeka." Well, one, Biloxi's only 2 hours away. That was a great drive for me. I love that. But the second one in Topeka, it does make sense on a business standpoint, and not to sound like an owner, but I feel like it's a good thing, and it's a mandatory thing here, especially in Single A and the Fed, where funds aren't exactly the same as ECHL, SPHL, and I really have to give kudos and caps to ownership of both teams, as well as the ownership of Biloxi, that it's going to turn into a rivalry. And it's one of those things where it's like you hardly ever see it, where a team in the Empire has a clear cross-divisional rivalry with the team in the Continental. And again, they're making it work up there in Topeka, and when they come visit down here in the Bayou, I feel like that's going to be the first I would say real measuring stick series, because it's like you are 7 games in, and you got your feet wet. Now I feel like is the time after the bye week that these guys try to turn things around and start playing up to their competition. So again, in talking to the about the Scarecrows as a team rather than the organization, the team themselves have been doing pretty hot, but you look at the numbers that they're boasting. Their power play stands at a 20%, which is not bad at all. And the Zydeco, after 1 weekend, they did on the power play themselves, went from a 94 best in the Continental to an 84, which is now 3rd place in the Continental. That's just how fast an early season lead change can happen. Early season is pretty much just when you get your bases, in my opinion. And it's where teams get to know themselves. Like Monroe, you guys are killing it. Biloxi, they're again, like us, they started off slow, but you can definitely see that Biloxi is starting to turn it around. So now it's all about just figuring out your strengths, figuring out what you want to be known as on the ice. And I know Devin's going to be talking about his breakers in a second, but not to bury the lead there. But breakers are a prime example of, games not going their way to start. And against the Zydeco, unfortunately for me, but fortunate for Devin, that they got bounces their way, and they got stellar goaltending in Josh Rosenzweig. I mean, 2 shots that didn't count in the end, but I still say 47 shots against Rosenzweig, and he's still able to hang up a goose egg on the scoreboard. That's definitely a feat to be applauded and studied if you're a goaltender here in the Fed, or I mean, if you're a shooting team like the Moccasins in the Fed, where he's the goalie to beat. If you're taking on Biloxi, if you can solve Rosenzweig, I feel like that's a recipe for a good time if you're the opposition. But Rosenzweig, when he's on his game, he's on.
Oh, well, we can attest to that after seeing him so much last year with Athens and
100%.
Yeah, I mean that kid can control a game, but when you get to him like we did that first time we played him, and he lasted what was it, Brian? 6 minutes or so, 8 minutes maybe, and it was so unlike him, and I'm like, something's wrong. I thought maybe he was injured or, but yeah, if you can solve any team starting goaltender, get to that backup, it's such an advantage. Bringing that guy in, and I'll talk about goaltending till cows come home. But no, I mean, great point, Brian. I mean, all the teams right now are trying to build that foundation, and even you guys just brought in Gary Gill, which I think is a really good move too. Gary, I like Gary a lot, real good guy, and you just made a couple trades too in the last 72 48 hours. So.
Yeah, and we made a couple of signings too. We're bringing in Connor Green. He's a guy that I had the pleasure of seeing once last year. Actually, a couple of times. That's a lie. When I first came into the Fed, as well as during the back half when we made our trip up to Whitville. He's a goaltender that I feel like he started off really hot, starting to find himself again. And this is definitely going to be a really good test for him to see if he can, pick up that magic that he had in the first season, where he was an FPHL All-Pro, or I mean, bigger pardon, he was a rookie All-Star, and not to mention his past accolades with the Sunyak, he was top prospect. Just finding that lightning in a bottle, and if we can get ourselves that version of Connor Green again, I don't want to lay too much on the goaltending position, But again, I've seen teams in the past where it's like their offense is kind of stalling, their defense helps out, but their goaltending is really what steals the show. Again, I point to the 24, or beg your pardon, I'm so sorry, I am still kind of cloudy in the head, but 2019
jet lag over there.
St. Louis Blues, you have Jordan Binnington, the 2012 Kings with Jonathan Quick, and I'll even go back to my own personal experiences with the Bismarck Bobcats in Clayton Knapp as well as Stephen Peck of the Bobcats. Those guys, while the team in front of them was more than excellent, those guys were really the anchor of that team. And again, you solve those guys, and yeah, I've seen it a couple of times when I broadcast for Bismarck, but you solve those guys, you solve pretty much the team. And goaltending is not the end all be all. Don't get me wrong. I think Saturday's game should have been a real key point to that, where Josh Rosenzweig uncharacteristically gave up 5, but they're still a big anchor to any team. So if Gray can come in and contribute the way that he's done in the past, I feel like the Zydeco, that's going to be a huge plus. And with them getting, Hunter Alden, you have a couple of other people coming in from that signing. This team is far from done, far from dead in the water. They just, again, need to start gelling together a little bit, start buckling down and learning those systems a tad bit more. And with the coaching that Chad Bailey has, I have no doubt. And as you mentioned, Gary Gill coming in as the director of hockey operations, he can give a rookie coach in Chad Bailey, who came in from the NA3HL, which I believe we're going to be talking about later on in this podcast, to the pro scene. This is his first pro season. Having someone mentor you, such as Gary Gill, that is insurmountable. That is priceless. Having someone such as Gill coming in and teaching Chad and just kind of being a little bit more of a mentor, taking him under his wing and teaching him, this is how you handle the pros as opposed to handling the juniors. So right now, it's a lull to start the season. But I feel like if the guys on the ice can make adjustments and learn the system a little bit more, Chad can learn himself being a rookie coach. This team has still a lot of fight left to go.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Good way to finish that off and cap that back up, man. A good recovery.
Former Sun Devil, by the way. We just got to get that out there, by the way, your head coach.
Yeah, you're gonna ride that one.
Okay. So fun
your
little tidbit. Chad and I actually have had history, and it's one of those things where it's just like, everybody like such a small world, where I used to call for the USC Trojans of the not NA, I meant to say ACHA, Division II, and the Sun Devils, their Division II ACHA came to play the Trojans one game, and well, they beat them 15 to something. And later on in my career, as everybody knows, I went to the NAHL, and also who went to camp that year, Chad Bailey. He went to the NAHL showcase with the Lone Star Brahmas, and to end the year, Chad actually had I wasn't there. Chad was, though. The championship between the Bismarck Bobcats and the Lone Star Brahmas of the NAHL, which, Bismarck took it home. Sorry, Chad.
All the links. You got all these links together.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, it's like playing connect the dots.
Yeah.
But man. Yeah, well, I mean, you guys, I think your coaching staff is finally solidified, and you're making your moves there, and it's going to be interesting to see you, because we'll see you guys in not next week, but the following week on a Wednesday midweek, weird. Midweek game. After we have a 3-game series, we'll be seeing Devin again that next weekend as well. So you can see all of our friends. This is kind of nice. It's like a little baby homecoming, a little reunion. But
I was going to say, you're going to see Devin this week.
Yeah, I get Devin. I get Devin all to myself too. We'll get to that as well. But,
yeah, I know.
You know what's funny? Joseph, last week we had the time changed. Yeah.
Yep.
You know what that means? I had to set all my watches, and Marty and Mark's Jewelry and Watch Repair is probably the best place I could think of in Monroe for watches. They're amazing business, outstanding people. They're definitely your home for the best deals and selections of pre-owned Rolex watches around in Monroe. And not only are you going to receive expert craftsmanship, but unmatched customer service as well. And you can go to Marty and Mark's, 224 Trenton Street, West Monroe, Louisiana. There's my selfless, shameless plug. And on to that, we're going to shift gears and go over to Brian. No, we already talked to Brian. I've had you for a minute. Devin, we're going to play with the breakers for a second.
Yeah, Devin, come on. What do you got for us?
What you got, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what games Brian was watching, but not the same ones I was.
He just comes right in and just lays it on him.
Wow.
Well, actually, before we get into all that, I'd like a round of applause for myself for matching my win total from last weekend.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Dashers 3 wins last year, Breakers 3 wins this year. So that's huge. Hopefully next episode we can talk about breaking the record. So looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean, going back to this weekend, we go into Baton Rouge and 45 save shutout, 5-0. I'm not sure how they were going to climb back into that game, but me personally, the one thing I will say about the Breakers that definitely has been a problem this season is the depth. You get a whole lot from that top line. They've combined for quick math, 46 points between Pikarczyk, you have Dokimov, and Caden Henry, of course, who leads the league in points. But outside of that, there hasn't been a whole lot of production. They've been a huge part of that, and they were in both games. Henry had 6 points in game 2, 3 goals, 3 assists. Pikarczyk had the overtime winner. But talking through the games, I guess, with a bit of a magnifying glass, it just felt like the shot totals, if you look at the shot totals, I don't think that's any way to decide a hockey game. I will say Baton Rouge definitely had more time in possession, time with the puck. But when it comes down to, could they actually have won the game? No, they were shut out 5-0. 45 save shutout. That means the goaltender was locked in, and they put up 5 goals. I don't think there's a world that the Zydeco were ever winning that game. Bryce French got smoked at center ice. It was just not their night. They could not find any momentum. Granted, there were a few posts. Absolutely, they could have made it a game. I'm not going to disagree with that part of it. There was a few, tough saves that Rosie had to make, but he did. And if you're going to say we have one of the best goaltenders in the league, then I don't think it's fair to say that you should have won that game when he's putting up a shutout. So that's my initial thoughts.
I didn't say that you guys were going to win the game, or we should have won the game. I was saying there was opportunity for the Zydeco during the weekend to actually come back and win. And I sang Rosie's praises. That 45 shutout, he was able to hang up a donut on the scoreboard. That was again, you take your hats off to that. But again, I know what you mentioned, shot total, not exactly the way, because you always have cheap shots, junk time shots. But again, like you mentioned, it was time of possession, and a lot of the goals, 5-0, came out of turnovers. It came out of mental mistakes. So at least that's the game that I saw, Devin.
I'll continue to disagree. I think it came down to quality over quantity. It was so much quality over quantity. Rosie didn't have to make nearly the amount of insane saves that he did against Monroe when he gave up 5, 6, 7 goals. And I think that, he had an easier workload. Granted, there was a lot of volume. But you look through the game highlights, it's just, there's so much skill on that top line. I think we can literally, this weekend was decided by our top line. And I think that that's something that the Zydeco are struggling to build. They do have a great core. I'm not going to disagree with that. Scott Chirac, Jake Cox, Alex Sanian. There's a lot of good pieces there that can put the puck in the net. Bartlett's been huge for you guys. He had a great weekend. But I just think that there's not really, like you said, it's still early. They're learning to play together. But I think the Breakers have one of the best lines in the division. And I think that's no bias. I think that's all numbers. I mean,
I think you're kind of missing out on Athens.
Can I just cut in for just 1 second? Because I'm just an outside guy looking in here on this. Now we have Brian with the Zydeco, Devin with the Breakers, and arguing which team is better. But now my question is, who had the better broadcast that game? Was it Devin or was it Brian?
I had the flu, brother. It's obviously going to be Devin. And I'm not going to lie. In this totem pole of you three, I'm probably one of the worst in the Fed. I'll be honest.
I'll tell you what. I had the privilege of bouncing back and forth between both broadcasts. And I took a period for everybody. And then I literally split the third period in half. And you guys both did great. You always do.
Yeah, I don't think that's anything to really dwell on is the broadcast. I think we both had some problems in Biloxi because our camera
causing
kept going
problems,
out.
Joseph.
So Brian, I apologize for our camera going out. It was really weird. I've never seen anything like it. But basically, the goal horn going off was making the camera cut out. I talked to the IT guy, and he was giving me something probably Troy would know or understand better. But yeah, the horn going off made the screen go rainbow, and me and Brian kept freaking out thinking it was on our end, but it was just a camera problem, and that was a pain. So I think as far as who had better accommodations, I'd give it to the Zydeco this weekend. We're still trying to get up to our full standard. But yeah, it was the broadcasts were both good. And Saturday we're basically listening to each other door to door in the Coliseum press box. So yeah, I thought everything was great. I definitely still want to touch on the game Saturday.
It's your floor, man. Hit it.
The viewers don't know this yet. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off, Devin, but I just want to say that, Brian has me blocked from commenting on his YouTube.
That's wise.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Not so nice, Brian.
Hey, dude,
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. Messed up. Oh, I do like to come in and say hi, you guys, to both of you guys. I don't know if you guys ever see it.
you just do
I'm never monitoring the chat. I don't have enough eyes to monitor the chat. I've got my restream up, and that's what I'm looking at.
Honestly, that's one thing that I actually really like about the Fed. It's just it's going on to YouTube. It's such a tool. That YouTube chat is such a tool because it's I don't have a color analyst. Sometimes, background stats can only get you so far because it's just you still need to be entertaining, and a lot of people, they want to know more about the players, true. But the one thing that I love to do, and I guess it's turned into a thing in the FP is the roll call, where you shout out people who are watching because it's again, at the end of the day, I'm just an idiot with a microphone. I'm not anybody special. It's the people that are listening in that are giving me a job. So I like to give them time in the sunshine, try to throw them a little roses, and it's interesting to see where people are watching, hockey from. And, majority of it is going to be coming from Louisiana, but there's been a couple, family from Finland, people from Sweden. I had one person that was in France that chimed in. So that YouTube chat, man, it's been such a underrated golden tool in my arsenal. That's just been amazing.
It is fun and it's simple, right? Anybody can use this. And Joe, he talked about roses, and you like 24 of them.
I was gonna say, I knew you were going with that.
Yeah, you know where I was going with that.
I knew exactly where
you know where I was going with that. But yeah. Well, I mean, Saturday. So what was so different about Saturday's game than Friday's?
I thought Saturday, it was a great game, back and forth. I thought that we definitely controlled the game more. It felt like the Zydeco were good about capitalizing on our mistakes. which is what you have to do to win hockey games. And I mean, looking at that and breaking it down goal by goal, I mean, they had Ross Bartlett, a lot of tremendous individual efforts. Say what you want about him, but he's a fantastic hockey player. And he, I mean, going down, he was getting taken down. He was going to have either draw a penalty or have a penalty shot coming on his first goal. Finished it while being taken down with a hook. Then shorthanded, him and Alexanian connect for that beautiful tic-tac-toe goal. And then on his second one, I'm going a little out of order, but he's sitting right on the doorstep. Perfect feed from Larwood. That's what he's best at. And bang, finds the net. So I thought the Zydeco, like when we had errors, when there were things going wrong, when we had breakdowns, because that's the thing. The Breakers are short defensemen. Frank Steinway just packed up. He tore his ACL. He's done for the year. So they don't have a whole lot of guys that play defense by trade. They've got people filling in. And with that comes a lot of errors. And that's what we saw a handful of times on Saturday night. And like I said, credit to the Zydeco. They were able to cash in on those mistakes. But it's certainly like it would have been one of those dreadful games had the Breakers lost, because it was like a little bit of Danville flashbacks. You got a 2-goal lead. There's 5 minutes to go. Oh, my goodness. There's a goal to make it 5-4. And then, okay, we're going to the power play. There's no way we're going to lose now. We're up 5-4. Oh, shorthanded goal. So it was just kind of one of those games that could have gotten away, but luckily when you're sending out that top unit who's among the league's best in points, I mean, they can fly. Caden Henry, I mean, that's got to be the trade of the offseason thus far in the FPHL.
That's
financial considerations for the league's leader in points. I mean,
I told you.
It's incredible.
When he went over there, I'm like, man.
Yeah, he's been great. And it might even be more. I think, there's stats that slip through the cracks sometimes or wrong people are credited. I think that he's got a few more too. Like he has been that good. And without him, without Yarrow, those were two guys that were Yarrow was signed late. Caden was traded for during training camp. Without those two guys, I don't know where the Breakers are. I don't think they sweep this past weekend. I think they hopefully have another couple pieces that are brought in, but I think the team's success has been a lot because of everything that's been going on at the beginning part of the season and the moves that were made. But yeah, it was a good game, 6-5, Picardchek, overtime winner. But yeah, it felt like the Breakers were the better team in that game. Again, the Zydeco, the shots were pretty even in that game, but just felt like the Breakers, they were at home. They had the fight. I don't think that one was as lopsided as the one on Friday. I thought French hung in there and gave Schlepp a couple back, but the Zydeco, they clawed back in, and like Brian said, they're a relentless team, and I think they'll definitely steal some points from some of these teams at the top of the division. We saw them do it already against Monroe in game 1, but right now they need to find a way to get a few good pieces in. They just lost Hunter Hall. They're bringing in Murphy, but Shoeless isn't reporting, according to the website. Could be wrong. Maybe Brian can trump in. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that they need to go for a couple – I think they need to go for a couple big pieces and some goal scorers. You need to fill that Wilson void. You need to fill the Haggerty void. You need to fill all these pieces that are missing, and core's still there, but they can only do so much. And there hasn't been a whole lot to help them.
Yeah, when you talked about Yarrow, Yarrow's got 13 points already, and he was a late signing. He still played 6 games so far.
Yeah, but he's got multi points in each of his last 5. I mean, it's unbelievable watching him skate.
Yeah, 5 goals, 8 assists. Are you out of curiosity, are you seeing any chemistry at all with Bartlett and Conway being ex Motor City Rocker teammates?
Bartlett plays for the Zydeco and Conway plays for the Breakers. So
that's right. You guys had him last year for a minute and you weren't there yet. Correct. Yeah. Well, I mean, and Bartlett is a hell of a player too. I've been following him since Motor City, and he's like you said, they need a couple more pieces, but both teams are still pretty damn dangerous. So, I mean, I'm not counting either one of you guys at any, no, these numbers don't even matter at this point. It's too early for this.
Yeah. The standings are going to be a fun and tight race. I think Biloxi, right where we are is where we're going to be until the team can improve personnel wise. I think we'll kind of be a middle of the pack team, but we need defense. Defense is, the X factor. The goaltending has been good during the wins and not so good during the losses. But the consistent offensive production, mostly because of the exception line, has been good. I mean, they're averaging close to 5 goals a game. That's pretty good in the FPHL to have a chance to win each night. So that's all been good. But without having people on the back end to help out your goaltender, I mean, respectfully, the bottom team in the division, and maybe they won't be there for long, but the current bottom team in the division put up 45 shots on you in a hockey game. That is,
there's been a lot of
not
shots
good.
this
There's a glaring problem.
There's
well,
been a lot of
I
shots.
under what you said, I thought that wasn't a problem.
Well, as far as wins, but you don't want consistently to face 45 shots a night. You're not going to get a 45 save shutout every night. Like, if you keep giving up an average of 50 shots a game, you're going to lose more often than not. Your goaltender is not going to make shutouts every night. So I think that is completely independent from what I was talking about earlier.
Well, Joe, you remember how that was in Baton Rouge our first year over there, and Hussey and them guys were just getting pummeled. It was like 60 shots a night.
Yep.
And it's like, and as a goaltender, when you look at it from that perspective, you're playing 2 games in one night.
Yeah.
We watched in a real crazy case in point. Brian, were you up there calling with us over with the Rouge game when they no, it was the week before. They put up the drillers put up 109 shots on goal in one game.
Yeah, that's a lot of shots.
I was tired for Jared Lang. I'm like, this is crazy, but you know what? He still had a 92% save percentage. I have no idea how you pull that out. I really don't.
Yeah, when I was a junior broadcaster, is before working for the Zydeco, I had about maybe 10 leagues that I broadcasted for, and of those 10, one of my mainstays was the Long Beach Shredders of the USPHL. And in one night, Fresno, the Monsters, they hung up 106, I think, on Heath Goldsmith, our goaltender at the time, and he let up 5 goals and still had a 95 save percentage, which for me, at the end of the game, I turned around to my dad, who's been a hockey fan since the Kings inception in 67. And I was like, have you ever seen that where goalie lets up 5 and still has above 900 save percentage, let alone a 95? And he's like, dude, no.
No, that doesn't happen. That's like a law of physics. Like, that's a freak of nature move. It's just, and it's something you're starting to see a trend here, even with this league. You got some nights where these goalies are getting bombarded, and then some nights it's like, oh geez, 23 to 26 shots on goal. Okay, that's about right. That's something. But it's just too spread out. There's too much. There's a lot of firepower this year. I mean, we could see the ECHL and SP guys spread out the league. You know what I mean? It's everybody's got something. Like Yarrow coming in there, Caden Henry on fire. I mean, that kid. I can't speak enough about that young man. Man, kid's a stud. He's very special. Very special.
It's really good to see, though, like this league starting to really grow. And I think, Pete, you and me were talking about this, I think, in our first year with the Zydeco, was like, give this league, about 5 to 10 more years. And I think it's really going to be a serious, considered, I guess, by people that it's if it's not already that way. But, a really serious minor league A level hockey, right? You're getting a lot of guys come from the ECHL now. I mean, look at Austin Albrecht, right? You have Carlos Fernandez too. Some guys coming from the Indy Fuels, the OHL, right? So it's good to see these guys from the NCAA as well, ECHL, all making their way down to the Fed. It just makes the league better, makes the team better, the whole brand and the hockey better. So it's great to see this game really starting to grow and move to something really, really good.
Oh, 100%. It's come leaps and bounds only from even looking at it from 3 years ago. I mean, when we broke in over there in the in Red Stick, Baton Rouge. So yeah, I mean, it's even from last year. You can see it's the caliber of play is so much better. It's very enjoyable to watch. I've heard people in the past say, "Oh, glorified beer league." Yeah, maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago, but boy, it's really come a long way, and guys are getting called up and over, and it's good hockey. And I don't know whether I want to transition to our weekend game or not with Biloxi, But I do know, Joseph. I had some coffee this morning.
Yep.
Yeah. And you know where I like to get my coffee when I go to Monroe? I like to go to Fiesta on 18th, my friend. Yep. Yeah. Fiesta on 18th. They offer Whole Foods, nutritional and body care products. They've got professional health information, so much more. Also, stop in. They do have the best coffee, I believe, biasly in Monroe. They also have delicious smoothies. We've got a favorite there. I don't want to say what that is, but it's a superfood. We like to call it something else, but it's delicious. They've got first grade products, exceptional customer service you can trust. Fiesta on 18th, 1211 North 18th Street, Monroe. My breakfast go to in pregame coffee for pretty much every game we go to up there. So I know it's your favorite as well.
I'm a big fan of the smoothies down there. If Devin, Brian, you guys haven't tried one or their coffee, I don't drink coffee, but you guys got to make a stop in over there and try it.
All right.
Oh, I'm buying. Oh yeah, it's good. Yeah, we like the superfood, stupid food as we call it, because we're both pretty stupid anyway. So
yeah,
I think one of these days Tim's just gonna kill us. Walk in and he's gonna be like, "Get out."
Yep, 100%.
Get out of here. Get out of here. But that being said, yeah, let's just transition to that before we get to the Moccasins. But so this weekend, the Moccasins and Biloxi Breakers are playing each other at the Mississippi Gulf Coast Coliseum. And we're going to do something a little different this weekend on the broadcast. And Devin, you want to take that away?
Yeah, so really looking forward to it. But me and Pete are going to be teaming up for this weekend and putting together a joint broadcast. There will be two feeds. We'll have the Biloxi feed. We'll have the Monroe feed. But me and Pete are going to call the game together. I'll be doing play-by-play. Pete will be doing color. And all the commercials and intermission content that we typically do will be for each respective organization. But we are going to do a joint call and looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, it's going to be really good, too, to see you guys. And I know the Moccasins fans, I'll be back in the broadcast booth. I have a wedding on Friday that I have to go to, so I won't be able to make the game. But, Devin, I appreciate you so much for filling in for me because we didn't have another backup play-by-play guy. And I know Pete did not want to do play-by-play after his third time doing it this weekend against Athens. So
my maiden voyage in the second period, that was horrible. Oh my gosh.
It was great. You guys got to go back and listen to it.
I got to go back.
It was funny.
Look, my wife said it was great, so I got to say, yeah. And the fans liked it too. And I was like, you guys are really, really kind because, so and you and Brian and Devin can both attest. So we're still wearing the blackout jerseys, which since we're doing the games remotely, it's really
I know that feeling, Devin.
And we're trying to see these on TV, let alone at the arena, right? It's a little easier at the arena. And I'm like, he's got the puck at center, and he dumped it in. I don't know who the hell this even is. I can't see numbers.
Yeah, I'd like to have a word with whoever designed those.
I'm like, I got my eyes shut. I'm like, what's going on here? But when it came out,
they're really cool uniforms. I will say they're unbelievable. But for what we need to do, for what our job description requires of us, it is a personal battle.
Tough, and I get to team up with you, so that'll be fun. And I had the opportunity during in which we'll touch on them too, the Bayou State Rouge game when Brian was in town for the NA3HL. Him and I called the third period together, and that was a lot of fun. Brian fell asleep.
Yeah, Brian.
Sorry. No, like I said, I'm still in school.
He ignored you.
It's okay, buddy.
I'm still in school getting my MBA, and I was actually talking to my group because we have finals due in say 3 hours, since that's when I'm going to be sleeping.
That's no problem. Hey, Pat's into this call. We want to talk to him next.
Oh.
Yeah, put him on the podcast. Yep. We want to ask him some questions about the Fed. See how good you've been teaching them.
Oh, my Lord. Well, Joseph, why don't you take it away? And, as I like to think, the snakes are striking.
The snakes are striking. Yes, the Moccasins. I mean, a lot to a good start this year. Striking, yes. They've been
pinched in half.
Yeah.
Oof.
Is that did I say streaking?
Now
you got me thinking. I was like, did I say that? I could have swore I said striking, but anyway.
You jump right to that game on Sunday, man. You talk about that was a heart attack game. I think we need to be sponsored by Losartan heart blood pressure meds or something, because that got ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it did, and that was a crazy game, right? The Moccasins, trying to get some redemption against Athens, and it just they're always on the wrong side of the bounce, right, against Athens. I mean, Athens just had their number since last season, and same thing right this year. But if we go back to that last game, that heartbreaking loss, I mean, the Moccasins, Pete, they open the score again, make it 1-0, and then Athens becomes Athens, right? They take a 2-1 lead. Then Ben Stephanie ties it 2-2, but then Athens starts to run away with things, and it becomes a 5-2 lead for them. The third period, and then next thing you know, Monroe is just like, hey, hold on, here's 3 straight goals, right, and or 4 straight goals because they took a 6-5 lead, but then Athens again. 25 seconds later, after they took the lead, tie it, and then Lukaryov, who tied it, ended the game in overtime. So at least they got a point, but boy, oh boy, I mean, wins tough to come by against Athens, but did pick up a point, and it's going to set up for a very exciting game at home coming up after this week.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The third period turned into hold my beer. It was like the goals were coming fast and furious. I pulled a whole new quote out with Plouffe. There it is, with Dubé Plouffe getting back-to-back power play goals. Yeah, I went there. It was great. But man, that game was just wild. Really, you felt like you were. I know we weren't there, but you felt like you were. It's just and it's tough. 39-38 shots on goal in favor of the Rock Lobsters, and the 7-6 overtime loss. And the goal was quick. It was 141 in. It was, and I said it's overtime. You go 3-on-3. Whoever makes that mistake is going to pay. And it was just. Lukaryov got time and space in the slot, kind of, sort of, and then just let it rip. And it is what it is. But you know what? Athens is beatable. They're not invincible. We got to their goaltenders. They're tough. They don't quit. They're going to keep coming at you. They're a
very good team.
Oh, absolutely. There's no
Top
question.
to bottom.
Yeah, no question. They're going to be at the top of the conference all year. They're going to be the ones with the targets on their back, and man, they're a measuring stick for everybody. Really, they are.
Them and Bingo going at it this weekend. That's going to be sick.
That's going to be a very, very good game.
And I'll be watching that Saturday night because that's going to be an entertaining one because we're off after that. So, but yeah, the Rock Lobsters come to the Civic Center next Friday and Saturday night, and then Biloxi comes to visit again, and then. After Biloxi, then we've got on a Sunday game, and then we've got Baton Rouge on that Wednesday, and then we're back in Athens. So we've got a steady diet, like I said, for several weeks of Biloxi and Athens. We're going to see each other quite a bit, and I don't think we'll get tired of each other, but we're going to see each other quite a bit.
Yeah, no, it's going to be really, really good series. I'm really looking forward to that game against Athens coming up at home in that 2-game set. Moccasins finally going to be back at the Civic Center. They've been away for a while on this road trip, so it's going to be electric. And I'm not going to be there for that one either in person, which was really a bummer. But Pete, I know you'll be there. It's going to be very loud. But one thing too, I wanted to mention Devin because we were talking about Pete and all his little catchphrase that he says, like the Plouffe, there it is. I mean, you'll hear him and how he does stuff when he's doing the game. He might just come up with something funny or random. Then you just kind of look at him and you just start laughing because you just don't know what you're going to get from him. He is really funny. I couldn't stop laughing during the Athens game. He said something and I was mid-broadcast, I'm just cracking up, and I had to stop myself because it was 2 minutes of me just laughing, and the fans are probably like, "All right, Joe, stop laughing, please."
Devin, if I had $1 for every time he took his headset off last year during a broadcast, and they just couldn't stop laughing, I would taken a week off. It'd have been great. But yeah,
that'd be nice.
He's right. I guess he's bracing you, because it's entertaining. But no, it was a lot of fun broadcasting with Brian, and it's nice to give both you guys a little break too, to give man, because it's tough. You're talking the whole time, and you don't have somebody to help you out and kind of fill in those gaps, right? Where it just seems to be monotonous, and give you a little break for a second like that, and give you a different insight with a different set of eyes and other brains.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Something that I miss doing. Like in college, I worked in a lot of pairs, and I did my fair share of color there as well. And just something that is so much easier. You watch the game in such a different way when you're not following the exact movement of the puck. And that's not to say you can't glance at another time and see something going on behind a play, but when you can see something develop and not be hyper-focused on exactly who has the puck, it just completely gives you such a more rounded view of what's going on. And having someone be that extra set of eyes, I'm really looking forward to it, Pete.
Yeah, and both ownerships were I guess happy with it, and they're going with it, and they're trusting us to make this work, and it's I think it's going to go well. We'll see what our producer Troy Savannah decides to how he's going to work this one, but like you said, 2 separate video feeds per se. I mean, as far as commercials are concerned, and we'll take care of each other's sponsors, and everybody will be happy, and they'll get a broadcast, and Monroe will come home with a win. So that'll be how the weekend's going to go, and being said, there's that.
Back to you, Taylor.
Back to you, Taylor. I miss Taylor, man. I miss being home. It's really hard with all these road games. It's there's nothing like coming back home with your fans and everybody seeing you. And
I can't wait to see you guys when I get back in town in December. I think I don't get to see you, Devin. Unfortunately, I have to see Brian, but I do get to see one of you guys.
Yeah, and I'll be with Brian by myself on that Wednesday too, won't I? Yeah. Yeah, the Wednesday, the 26th. The day before Thanksgiving. Oh man, we should dress up as pilgrims, Brian.
Yeah, no problem. I
would love. I would pay good money for that to see that.
I just kind of wanted to touch on a little bit of what you and Devin were talking about. Like for me personally, throughout my career, I've only had a color analyst once actually in my career.
One game or one season?
Well, for the organization that I worked for, the Long Beach Shredders, really great guy, Taylor Peterson. He pretty much student of the game. He was former ACHA player for the Long Beach 49ers. And throughout my career, it really gives you an appreciation for just amount of insight that a second pair of eyes can get you. Because when I was with USC, I started off with a color analyst. He kind of guided me into play-by-play, and he and I would oscillate between play-by-play and color. And to Devin's point, yeah, when you're a color analyst, it gives you a lot more of an appreciation of the game. And throughout my career, even in Bismarck, it was pretty much just me, and it really sharpens your skill as to how to fill in that dead time and how to throw in different tidbits, different stories. Sometimes the stories land, sometimes they don't. But it's definitely one of those skill sets that you have in your arsenal that it gives you an appreciation for when you actually have a color analyst. Because I mean, for me, when I was in college, I was pretty much kind of lone wolfing it. But when I did get color analyst it was really nice to have. Definitely.
Yeah,
Joseph, it really is a nice thing. What was that, Pete?
Your mom likes the fact that I'm your analyst.
Oh,
yeah, it's great to have an analyst. I mean, it really is. And when you start to build the chemistry, and Pete, just how we started from the first game we did, I believe that was a Thursday night game actually, and it was against the Seawolves at the time, with the Zydeco and the Seawolves. You did the first game with me on TV. It was on WBRZ, and I'll never forget how nervous you were. You didn't say a whole lot during the broadcast. That was the first one you did. You didn't do the second night with me. And then we did another game in Mississippi, and then you were so much better that second night. Then you did the following game with me, I think, too. I don't know, you did 3 games with me that year. And then after that, you called me up, over that offseason last year, and you're like, come to Monroe. I want to do the games with you and stuff. And then we did all the games last year. And now here we are again, but it's great to have a color commentator with you. And, for someone like me, I used to be so serious all the time, but having you up next to me, I lose so much of that just being next to you in a good way, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like your mom said, I think you're a little more loose, you know, and like I told you, you know, okay, so yeah, that first game, you're right. I was scared to death, right? I was like, this is stupid. I can't even believe I'm doing this. What am I doing, right? And then the second one, yes, was in Biloxi, and then the third one was in Biloxi, and I think we hit hit a little stride because I was understanding a little bit more, and then that was it. And then we did this. I mean, even like I get so excited and so comfortable to do it now. It's like I said, when we sit there for the broadcast open and we see that FPHL our open intro with the video, and you see the logo, I get so excited because it's like it's like the players in the tunnel getting ready to go out. And I'm like, oh man, here we go. This is it. One shot.
Yep. Yeah, no, and like I said, it's so much fun to do the games, you know, and in our broadcasts and everything like that. And like I said, it's great to have an analyst like, you know, Pete. It's so great for you doing the games. It's so much fun, and we sit there, and you know nobody knows, but sometimes we're playing like, you know, rock paper scissors or tic tac toe or
Hangman.
whatever, you know, hangman. You know, and we start playing like Uno next or something, right? I mean, I don't know, it's, you know, no one knows some of the funny stuff that, you know, we do, but you know, now you look at you and what you're doing. You got, you know, the whole iPad next to you on the telestrator. You're circling stuff during the broadcast, you know, writing the plays out on the screen, doing some X's and O's. And
that thing still scares me.
Yeah,
it's still, you know.
You need like a pen for that telestrator.
You
thing.
do.
It's
You
so
need
much
yeah.
easier. The finger is just too hard.
Well, you got that little creepy, like Tales from the Crypt finger. It's like it just doesn't work right. You need a stylus. It's like, you want to do that Eddie Olczyk, stop it right here. You know, get that stuff going. But no, it's a lot of fun. I never thought in my wildest dreams I would be doing anything like this, and here I am. And you make it easy, and I'm looking forward to doing it with Devin. I'm sure it's going to be. I got a feeling it's going to be pretty seamless. It's just trying to get each other's cadences down. I know as soon as he stops talking, I can hop in there and hop out. So it'll be okay. Maybe the first period, maybe the first 10 minutes, it might be a little wonky, but
I'm sure we'll step on toes a couple times. But
I'll make sure I step on your foot. How big are your shoes?
I plead the fifth.
I'm a 13, my guy. 13. And I'm only 5'10".
I'm a 16.
Size 16 shoe?
Yeah, of course.
All right then. That's I see where you're going with this. All right, so that being said, you know what, Joseph? I've had I've had plenty of injuries, and because I'm old, right? I'm the old goalie.
Yes.
Yeah. But I tell you what's good for the injuries is Biscuit Balm. Yeah, Biscuit Balm is a menthol plus CBD topical rub, and I am a representative for Biscuit Balm. I'm happy to say this is a selfless plug. For the fastest recovery from joint bruise, muscle, and inflammation discomfort, their formula penetrates deep and quickly, cool, calm, and accelerated recovery, and that's no joke. I swear by this stuff. You can get back to training harder and faster. No missed reps or missed days, just results. Biscuit Balm, the athlete's choice. This stuff, and actually, so I got an Ethernet cord that's stretched halfway through my house from my guest bedroom, and I stepped on it the other day and I rolled my ankle. How I did that, I have no idea. And man, I put some of that on my ankle within 30 seconds. It was like I could walk on it. It felt good. It's a false sense of security, kind of, but yeah, your pain's gone and it actually helps your recovery time. So I swear by this stuff, and actually I'm getting some samples for the Moccasins and the Rouge, which we'll touch on Rouge next.
Co-hosts?
And my co, and you know, my goal is to get it in every FPHL team's locker room. So I'll even give your trainers some samples too, so they can give a try on the boys. If they like it, they can buy it from me, and we'll go from there. They get a discount, and I believe we get a. Oh geez, hold on, let me look at my chart here. Maybe it's a 10% discount. I think maybe I don't know. I'll find out. But there's that, and I'm going to go ahead and take this one. The Bayou State Rouge or any 3HL team that we have over at the Monroe Civic Center. North American, another new junior team came in, and owner Brad Allen, great people to work with. Joseph's my broadcast partner for that as well.
Yep.
Lucky me. And boy, it's funny. I don't know if you saw some of the comments because we the schedules with the Moccasins and the Rouge coincide. So when we're out of town, they're out of town, vice versa. But I guess the out of town broadcasters that they've been getting lately, the fans are like, we miss Pete and Joseph already. And they've only had us for what, like maybe 5, maybe 6 games, maybe
couple games.
Yeah. And really enjoy it. The kids play their tails off, man. Like, our goaltender Jared Lang's fantastic. But the kids, they're wonderful. It's cool to do these games because you also feel like you're talking to the parents and the family members as well, and that's a lot of fun to let them know that their kids are getting taken care of. And next week, when you're not there, I believe is our best chance. We may actually sweep that series. We're playing Atlanta, who Atlanta is right about at where we're at, if not a little bit lower. So it could be a really interesting series, and you're going to be patched in remote for that as well.
I'll always be there, Pete.
Oh, you know what? I don't know if you can be because you don't have the any 3HL login.
No,
do you?
No. I'm gonna be on the same way we see the game, just how we do it for the mock. So I'll be okay.
Oh, you can be VMAX. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
VMixed.
VMix, yep. VMix, same thing.
Oh, max this. Yeah. So there's that. We're okay. Great. That'll be fun. We can. Oh man, I was gonna. Yeah, that's fine. And yeah. So no, that's a lot of fun. I'm glad we were asked to do that. And I don't think I had to twist your arm too much to do that.
Nope. I'm all for it, and I'll do it again.
Yeah, 1:30 games. Typically 1:30 games on Friday and Saturday, and then we play our game, and Sunday too. But then we play our games at 7:00. So real quick turnovers for us. I mean, we go from chill out, street rink closed to let's go hurry up and change into suits and look all pretty and hit it for the evening. So
and back to street clothes.
And we're back to the bar and partying like Johnny Manziel.
Whoa, Johnny Manziel. I haven't heard his name in a long time.
No, there's a blast from the past or from 20 minutes ago. Either way. But yeah, so we have that. And the other exciting thing down here, and Devin's kind of maybe, I don't know if Devin's been able to see it either, but Tulane got their ice hockey team back. And
yeah.
And they've been using your arena there as a home per se.
Yeah, there's club hockey there. It's as far as attending, it has the arena's closed the doors to it, so we're seeing what's going to happen there. But it's cool to have another team around down here. I think they just played LSU at the Coliseum, so pretty cool to see that happening, and nice to have another use for the ice for sure. Hopefully, hockey can start to really build down here in the South because that's what we're all really trying to do.
Yeah, and we've talked about that too. And I mean, we're all rivals, right? Brian, Baton Rouge, and you over in Biloxi. However, we all need each other. We all need each other to survive, be sustainable for travel, like Brian talked about earlier, right? I mean, because next year we're seeing Minnesota's coming into the league, which is a really bizarre expansion with that footprint, which brings me back to my original comments months ago about. Man, if there's any way we can merge with the SPHL, it'd be fantastic because you're filling in the gaps for travel. But and there's also talks of possibly another expansion team next year or two more. In Motor City's coming back in, so you're going to be in pods. So I mean, we need you guys in the Gulf South, and they may even suck Columbus in there a little bit, because they're the next closest to the east of all of us. But that's an interesting move. But yeah, I mean, we need that. Tulane getting their team is possibly a catalyst for getting a municipal rink in New Orleans, which would be huge since we're in line trying to get an NHL team here. And with Jeremy Roenick being on board as a owner and investor with the Moccasins, it's very promising. Good looking times here in the Gulf South for hockey.
No doubt about that. It's really nice just to see the game grow. We're hoping that we can start to get the youth in it. I know some of the players are doing private lessons and stuff. So as long as that can continue to take off, I'm really excited.
Yeah, and your change of scenery got way better. How you went from cornfields to the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was telling Brian last week. We were talking about the ride into the arena. It's just like so awesome. Like the last 10, 15 minutes or so, you're just driving on the beach and looking out at the water. It's pretty cool. Just really nice way to pull up to the rink. Feels really pro.
And then Brian's a block away from the Mississippi River, and I live 3 blocks from the Mississippi River ish. It's like we're looking at that weird body of water there, just twists and turns through the whole state, and you've got the big body of water. But yeah, no, glad you're down here with us. Glad Brian's here. We got it's. I was telling some people that we've maybe it was our owner Nick Perkin. I was telling about we've all had such a camaraderie from last year. We all got to know each other a little bit and enjoyed each other's company. And then I don't think there's any looking back at this point.
Exactly. It's great. We got a good unit down here in the South, and we play each other enough, and there's a good rivalry, but it's also great to be able to come back and have the professional relationships that everybody does.
You say professional. I don't know how loose that is or not.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, that's true. But so Baton Rouge is off this weekend. They'll be back at it next weekend. We got you guys on Friday, and then we're idle, and you guys are going to Columbus for 2, right?
We're going to Columbus for 1 on Saturday, and then the following weekend we go for 2.
Yeah, my prediction is we may be pretty pissed off coming in there, and we may just beat you guys up on Friday. Maybe, we'll see how much they forgot about that last week. But then what I'm really concerned about is you guys coming in there on that Sunday. That's gonna be a tough travel for you guys. 2 games in Columbus, and then leaving Columbus pretty much as soon as you're done, coming right to Monroe.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be nice that. I mean, they'll be tired, but they'll have played some games, and hopefully they'll be in a good rhythm, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
First matinee for us.
A lot of hockey, long way to go. We're just, but you know what? We're going to be in December before you know it. We're already almost halfway through it, November already.
I know. I can't believe it.
And then Joseph will be back, so that'll be nice.
Just booked my flight back to Mass for Christmas, so I'm excited for that. But it's obviously great to be here with the hockey.
I'm gonna let you guys know I had to walk away for like 2 minutes to get some food, and we're back now.
Chicken strips?
No, I DoorDash food, and it's not chicken strips this time. It's
In-N-Out Burger?
Well, technically, I guess it is. No, you can't DoorDash In-N-Out Burger, which is like the weirdest thing. I wish you could. I didn't want to drive to go all the way down there. Well, it's only like 10 minutes, but I'm
Yak in a Box?
Nope.
No.
This is I got the chicken teriyaki with rice and some vegetables.
Oh, that's your other go-to. No Jumbo Yak.
Nope.
No Jumbo Yak with Sprite?
Nope.
Man. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Jack in the Box, to be honest with you. It's kind of gross.
I don't. Yeah, nope. But yeah.
Oh God.
But it is good. It is chicken though, but it's not chicken nuggets.
Well, I mean, you surprised me on that one.
Sometimes I will surprise you.
Yeah, there was that. I just had a glitch here on my screen. But that being said, we got how about some final thoughts here going around the horn? Brian, what do you got, buddy? I know you're trying to study and get your testing going.
No, just thank you for having me on, man. It was a blast.
No, you're I know you're still a little under the weather, and you're this is our team here moving forward, us four. It's we're stuck with each other.
Great team to have.
I'm not mad.
I'd take us.
Yeah. I mean, and even after we did our first episode, we had a couple other broadcasters that were like, "I want to come on air."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wiseman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bring them on down.
He's breaking open the door.
Yeah. We're gonna break down the door and be like, "Holy jumping! I'm coming in."
Yep. We need him now.
You never know. We got room for. Actually, I think we could have. Honestly, I think we could have like 15 in here, which is a weird number they gave me. But I don't think that would work. It'd be like a 6-hour podcast, so we ain't got time for that.
Hell, we can get so many broadcasters on here.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Yeah, it would never end. The show would never end.
No, it would not.
It would definitely be the show that never ends.
Look at some of the new guys in here.
Yeah. But wow. And Joe, you got anything, buddy?
Nope. I got nothing because I'm off this weekend. I don't got to work, but someone's doing double time. That's Devin Dobeck. So Again,
yeah.
just really grateful Devin's filling in for me. I know I got to go to that wedding, but I'll be thinking of you, Devin, at the wedding. I'll be sitting there tuning in, listening.
I
Like
appreciate
when
it.
they're saying their vows, I'm like, hold on, guys, I got to listen to Devin and Pete right now. Can you guys please stop this right now? Can we get this up on the jumbotron or sorry, the projector?
Projector, yeah.
Yeah, the projector, please, and put the game on. Forget all the pictures and all the lovey-dovey stuff. Like I need to listen.
Moccasins
Pete.
breakers.
Yeah,
Friday night.
exactly. Inject Pete and Devin straight into my veins.
Oh Lord. Well, and that as I think about the broadcast too, the Devin and Brian, when you guys are in town and we're playing the Rougarou, if you ever want to jump on with us, you are 100% more than welcome to.
All right.
I think it'd be an absolute blast. We had a great time with Brian. That was a lot of fun.
He got to fill in for me too.
It really was
about a period and a half.
Yeah, because he's just like, you want to take over? He's like, sure.
He wanted a rep.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that because it's nice to be with somebody else too and kind of see how their stuff is and kind of learn how they do their things and it's all about helping each other and it's
definitely a downgrade, but I mean, it was fun.
God, don't kid yourself, man. I like listening to both of you guys. Actually, all three of you. Well, Joseph's always in my ear. I don't have a choice with him, but
he'd probably put a mute button on me if he could.
What's that?
I said he'd probably put a mute button on me if he could, but that's okay.
No, I don't know. No, probably not. It's no, it's I'm honored to be able to do what we do, and I'm very lucky. And Joe, I'm glad we never been fired. So there's that. So I'm just. Oh boy! That being said, boys, I think we're gonna head and start to get ready to wind this sucker down because I think we're all tired because we got a long weekend.
Oh yeah.
So
well, half of us will be working.
Yeah. Some will be working. Some will be at a wedding.
Some of us don't work here.
Brian can come into a YouTube chat room on Devin and myself and laugh at us. Right?
Yeah.
I'll
hang out with my girlfriend.
I'll check. Oh,
yeah.
Well, there's that. There's that. Yeah. There's always that. Lastly, I'm gonna go ahead and give another plug to the Twin City Chiropractic. Dr. Kyle Nix, I see him when I come up there. He's our team chiropractor, and man, I tell you what, every time I go up there, he cracks me up, literally. Oh God, from the neck to the ankles. I mean, he's even done a video and sounded like I was getting in a torture rack, but I felt like I was 6'2" by the time I got off there. And finally, Big Pete's Chicago style hot dogs. Have to plug myself. The only authentic Chicago style hot dog in New Orleans, voted top 10 hot dog in New Orleans by Way Yet magazine. Big Pete's, a taste of Chicago in the Big Easy. That being said, for Devin Dobeck, Brian Flores, my partner, Joseph Furtado, this is Pete Furcano saying thank you guys for joining us on the restream, on the live stream. Stream you later.